What if I told you there's a single principle that could completely transform how women perceive you? Not through manipulation or game, but through genuine personal development that makes you naturally magnetic. Today, we're diving into a powerful Stoic principle that, when mastered, creates an irresistible attraction that goes beyond superficial charm or looks. This isn't about tricks or tactics. It's about becoming the kind of man who naturally draws people in. Before we begin, I want to clarify something important. This video isn't about manipulating others. It's about transforming yourself in a way that naturally attracts the right people into your life. The Stoics understood this centuries ago, and their wisdom remains just as relevant today. So what is this one principle that creates such a powerful effect? It's called Amor Fati, the love of fate. The ancient Stoics believed that true power comes not from controlling external circumstances, but from mastering our internal responses. Amor Fati represents the pinnacle of this mastery. It's the difference between merely existing in life and truly embracing it with all its complexities. In today's world of instant gratification and constant comparison, this principle stands as a counterbalance, a timeless approach to living that cuts through the noise and creates authentic power. What is Amor Fati? Amor Fati literally means love of fate or love of one's destiny. It was embraced by Stoic philosophers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, and later championed by Friedrich Nietzsche. At its core, Amor Fati means accepting everything that happens in life, the good, the bad, and everything in between, not just with acceptance, but with genuine enthusiasm. It's about embracing your entire life exactly as it is, with all its flaws, challenges, and disappointments. Marcus Aurelius put it beautifully when he wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." This isn't passive resignation. It's not about simply enduring life's challenges or giving up. It's an active, enthusiastic embrace of everything that comes your way, using it as fuel for growth and self-improvement. Think about it. Most people spend their lives fighting against reality, complaining about their circumstances, blaming others for their problems, and wishing things were different. They live in constant friction with life itself. Nietzsche took this concept even further when he said, "My formula for greatness in a human being is Amor Fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity, not merely bear what is necessary, still less conceal it, but love it." Imagine approaching every situation in your life with this mentality, not just accepting it, but loving it, not just enduring difficult people, but appreciating what they bring to your life, not just tolerating setbacks, but seeing them as essential components of your journey. This doesn't mean you become passive or accept abuse. The Stoics were men of action, but they understood that true power comes from acting from a place of acceptance rather than resistance. Why Amor Fati creates attraction? So why does mastering Amor Fati make you magnetically attractive? Let me break it down. 1. Unshakable confidence. When you truly embrace Amor Fati, you develop a rare kind of confidence that isn't dependent on external validation. You're not rattled by rejection, criticism, or failure because you see these experiences as necessary parts of your journey. This self-possession is incredibly attractive. While others are constantly seeking approval and validation, you stand firm in your own worth. This quiet confidence creates a gravitational pull that others can feel. Most men's confidence is conditional. It depends on success, validation, or achievement. But the confidence that comes from Amor Fati is unconditional. It remains intact, regardless of external circumstances. This is what creates true charisma, the kind that doesn't fluctuate based on whether you're winning or losing. Think about the most attractive men you know. They likely share this quality, the ability to remain centered regardless of what life throws at them. They own their stories completely, including their flaws and failures. 2. Emotional stability. In a world where emotional reactivity is the norm, someone who maintains composure through life's ups and downs stands out dramatically. When you practice Amor Fati, you're not thrown off by the minor inconveniences that derail most people's days. You don't spiral into anxiety about things outside your control. You maintain equanimity regardless of circumstances. This emotional stability creates a sense of safety and security for those around you. In the chaos of modern life, this quality alone is enough to make someone obsess over you. Consider how rare this quality is today. Most people are constantly triggered, reactive, and emotionally volatile. Dating apps are full of people who ghost at the slightest inconvenience, who can't handle normal relationship challenges, who are looking for perfection rather than growth. When you embody emotional stability through Amor Fati, you become a calm harbor in a stormy sea. This alone creates immense value and attraction. 3. Genuine presence. Most people are mentally time-traveling, ruminating about the past or anxious about the future. When you embrace Amor Fati, you're fully present in the moment. This presence is magnetic. When someone feels truly seen and heard by you, it creates a deep connection that's increasingly rare in our distracted world. Think about the last time someone gave you their complete, undivided attention. No phone checking, no wandering eyes, no distracted responses. How did that make you feel? That's the power of presence, and it's a natural byproduct of Amor Fati. When you're not resisting what is, when you're not wishing for what isn't, you can be fully present with what's in front of you, including the person you're with. 4. Resilience and anti-fragility. Amor Fati transforms you from someone who's broken by challenges into someone who's strengthened by them. You don't just bounce back from setbacks, you grow from them. This resilience signals to others that you're a reliable partner who can weather life's inevitable storms. In evolutionary terms, this makes you an ideal mate. Nassim Taleb coined the term anti-fragile to describe things that gain strength from disorder and stress. Amor Fati makes you anti-fragile in relationships. Where others break under pressure, you thrive. 5. Freedom from neediness. Perhaps the most attractive quality that emerges from Amor Fati is freedom from neediness. When you love whatever happens, you don't need people to behave in specific ways to make you happy. This absence of neediness creates space in relationships. It allows the other person to choose you freely rather than feeling pressured or manipulated. Neediness is the great attraction killer. It creates pressure, suffocation, and eventually resentment. Amor Fati is its antidote. 6. Authenticity. In a world of carefully curated social media personas, authenticity has become rare and valuable. Amor Fati fosters radical authenticity because it eliminates the need to pretend. When you accept and love everything about your life, you can be honest about your journey, your struggles, your failures, your insecurities. This honesty is refreshing and deeply attractive. How to practice Amor Fati. Now let's get practical. How do you actually cultivate this principle in your daily life? 1. Reframe challenges as opportunities. Start by consciously reframing every challenge as an opportunity for growth. This isn't about toxic positivity or denying reality. It's about finding the potential value in difficult situations. When you face rejection, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? When plans fall through, consider what new possibilities have opened up. Train your mind to automatically look for the opportunity within every obstacle. I once experienced a painful breakup that left me questioning my worth. Instead of wallowing in self-pity, I asked myself what this experience could teach me. That breakup led me to discover patterns in my relationships that needed healing. It pushed me to develop emotional resilience I never knew I had. Today, I can honestly say I'm grateful for that breakup. It was necessary for my growth. Make this a daily practice. When something disrupts your plans or expectations, pause and ask, how might this benefit me in ways I can't yet see? 2. Practice the reversal of perspective. This is a powerful Stoic exercise. When something negative happens, consciously reverse your perspective by imagining how this event might benefit you in the long run. For example, if you get stuck in traffic, instead of becoming frustrated, think, this gives me time to listen to that podcast I've been meaning to check out, or this is a chance to practice patience and presence. The Stoics called this the art of acquiescence, not in the sense of giving up, but in the sense of working with reality rather than against it. Try this. The next time you're in an argument with someone, instead of seeing them as an opponent, see them as a teacher. Ask yourself, what is this person showing me about myself? What can I learn here? 3. Conduct a daily reflection. At the end of each day, reflect on events that triggered negative emotions. For each one, ask yourself, how might this seemingly negative event benefit me? What strengths am I developing by facing this challenge? How would my ideal self respond to this situation? This practice gradually rewires your neural pathways, making Amor Fati your default response. Journaling is particularly effective for this exercise. Put your thoughts on paper to gain clarity and perspective. Review your journal entries periodically to see how your perspective evolves over time. 4th, eliminate complaining. Challenge yourself to go 24 hours without complaining about anything. Then extend it to 48 hours, then a week. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions or being inauthentic. It means redirecting the energy you'd use for complaining toward constructive action or acceptance. Notice the difference between expressing a valid concern and complaining. The former is solution-oriented, the latter is just resistance to reality. When you catch yourself complaining, don't judge yourself harshly. Simply pause and ask, what am I resisting here? Can I accept this reality and work with it rather than against it? 5. The obstacle is the way. Remind yourself of the Stoic mantra, the obstacle is the way. Whatever stands in your path becomes the path itself. The impediment to action advances action. When you encounter obstacles in relationships, work, or personal growth, see them not as barriers, but as the actual path to becoming the person you're meant to be. Ryan Holiday's book, The Obstacle is the Way, explores this concept in depth. He writes, the obstacle in the path becomes the path. Never forget, within every obstacle is an opportunity to improve our condition. 6. Practice negative visualization. This traditional Stoic exercise involves imagining worst-case scenarios to appreciate what you have and prepare for potential challenges. Spend a few minutes each day contemplating what it would be like to lose something or someone important to you. This isn't to induce anxiety, but to foster gratitude and psychological resilience. When dating someone new, briefly consider, this relationship might not work out, and that would be part of my path. This removes the desperate energy that often sabotages new relationships. 7. Study role models. Identify historical and contemporary figures who exemplify Amor Fati. Study how they responded to adversity and try to emulate their mindset. Viktor Frankl, who found meaning in Nazi concentration camps, is a powerful example. Nelson Mandela, who emerged from 27 years of imprisonment without bitterness, is another. In your own life, who do you know who embodies this principle? Observe them closely. What can you learn from their approach to life's challenges? 8. The dichotomy of control. Epictetus taught that some things are within our control, while others are not. Happiness comes from focusing our energy on what we can control and accepting what we cannot. Create 2 columns on a piece of paper, within my control and outside my control. For any situation causing you distress, sort the elements into these columns. Then focus exclusively on what's in the first column. In relationships, you cannot control whether someone is attracted to you, but you can control how you conduct yourself, how you respond to rejection, and how you grow from each interaction. Real-world implementation. Let's see how Amor Fati plays out in real-world dating and relationships. Scenario 1. Getting rejected. Most men take rejection personally. They either become defensive, bitter, or desperate to prove their worth. The man who has mastered Amor Fati responds differently. He genuinely accepts the rejection, remains composed, and might even say, "I appreciate your honesty. I wish you well." This response is so rare and powerful that it often creates second thoughts. Even if it doesn't, it preserves his dignity and keeps his confidence intact. I once asked a woman out who declined, saying she wasn't ready for a relationship. Instead of trying to convince her otherwise, I simply said, "I understand completely. I appreciate your honesty." 6 months later, she reached out, saying my response had stuck with her because it was so different from what she usually experienced. Scenario 2. Relationship challenges. When relationship difficulties arise, most people blame their partner or become defensive. The man who practices Amor Fati sees these challenges as opportunities to deepen the relationship. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" he asks, "What can I learn from this?" This perspective transforms conflicts from threats into opportunities for growth. Consider a common scenario. Your partner is distant and irritable. The typical response is to take it personally and become defensive or withdraw. The Amor Fati response is different. My partner is struggling with something. This is an opportunity to practice patience, understanding, and clear communication. This approach doesn't mean tolerating mistreatment, but it does mean engaging with challenges constructively rather than reactively. Scenario 3. Life setbacks. When faced with career setbacks, health issues, or financial challenges, the average person falls into victim mentality. The practitioner of Amor Fati accepts these challenges as part of his journey and focuses on what he can control. This resilience is deeply attractive because it signals that he can provide stability regardless of external circumstances. Job loss, for example, can trigger depression and identity crisis for many men. The man practicing Amor Fati might think, "This job wasn't my final destination. This change, while painful, is redirecting me towards something better aligned with my purpose." Scenario 4. Dating app. Frustrations. Dating apps can be a source of tremendous frustration. The algorithm doesn't seem to work in your favor. Matches don't respond. Conversations fizzle out. Most men become bitter or desperate in this environment. The man practicing Amor Fati sees it differently. These are the conditions of modern dating. Rather than fighting against them, how can I work within them while maintaining my integrity and focus? This perspective shift prevents the desperation that repels potential matches and keeps you focused on genuine connection rather than validation. Scenario 5. Dealing with exes. When relationships end, many people harbor resentment. try to win the breakup or obsess over what went wrong. The practitioner of Amor Fati takes a different approach. This relationship was exactly what both of us needed for our growth. The ending is as necessary as the beginning was. This perspective allows for clean closure and creates space for new connections without the baggage of past resentments. The science behind Amor Fati. Modern psychology and neuroscience support the wisdom of Amor Fati. 1. Neuroplasticity. Our brains physically change based on how we use them. When you consistently practice Amor Fati, you're creating new neural pathways that make this perspective your default mode. Research in neuroplasticity shows that consistent thought patterns create stronger neural connections. The more you practice seeing obstacles as opportunities, the more automatic this response becomes. 2. Cognitive reframing. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, one of the most effective therapeutic approaches, is based on the principle that our thoughts shape our emotions and behaviors. Amor Fati is essentially advanced cognitive reframing, changing how you interpret events rather than trying to change the events themselves. 3. Post-traumatic growth. Psychologists have documented that many people experience positive psychological changes following traumatic events, a phenomenon called post-traumatic growth. Amor Fati facilitates this process by encouraging you to look for growth opportunities within challenges rather than simply trying to overcome them. 4. Psychological flexibility. Research shows that psychological flexibility, the ability to adapt to changing situations and contexts, is a key component of mental health. Amor Fati cultivates this flexibility by training you to work with reality rather than against it. 5. Stress response studies show that how we perceive stress determines whether it harms or helps us. Viewing stress as enhancing rather than debilitating actually changes our physiological response. When you practice Amor Fati, you transform your relationship with stress, making it a catalyst for growth rather than a source of distress. Advanced practices. Once you've mastered the basics of Amor Fati, you can move on to more advanced practices. 1. Radical responsibility. Take complete responsibility for your life, not just your actions, but your reactions to everything that happens to you. This doesn't mean blaming yourself when bad things happen. It means acknowledging that while you can't control external events, you always control your response. 2. Finding the gift. In every painful experience, there's a gift waiting to be unwrapped. The more painful the experience, the more valuable the gift often is. Challenge yourself to find the gift in your most painful experiences. What have they taught you? How have they shaped you? What strengths have they given you? 3. The eternal recurrence. Nietzsche proposed a thought experiment. What if you had to live this exact life, with all its pain and joy, over and over again for eternity? Amor Fati means embracing this idea, living in a way that you would willingly repeat every moment eternally. This mindset transforms how you approach even the smallest moments of your life. 4. From resistance to assistance. When you feel resistance to something, ask yourself, how can I assist this situation rather than resist it? This subtle shift from resistance to assistance aligns you with reality rather than fighting against it. Warnings and caveats. It's important to note that Amor Fati isn't 1. Toxic positivity. It's not about denying negative emotions or pretending everything is great when it isn't. It's about acknowledging reality fully while choosing your response. The Stoics never advocated suppressing emotions. They encouraged acknowledging emotions while not being controlled by them. 2. Passive acceptance. It doesn't mean you should accept abusive relationships or situations you can change. It's about accepting what you cannot change while taking action on what you can. The Serenity Prayer captures this perfectly. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. 3. Immediate or easy. This is a lifelong practice, not a quick fix. You'll fail at it repeatedly, and that's part of the process. The goal isn't perfection but progress, gradually developing this mindset until it becomes second nature. 4. A manipulation tactic. If you approach Amor Fati as a technique to make women attracted to you, you're missing the point. The attraction is a byproduct, not the purpose. True Amor Fati is about transforming your relationship with life itself. The improved relationships with others are a natural consequence of this inner transformation. 5. A replacement for action. Amor Fati isn't about becoming passive. The Stoics were men of action. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor who spent years defending the empire's borders. Seneca was a statesman and playwright. The point is to act from a place of acceptance rather than resistance. Your actions become more effective when they're aligned with reality, rather than fighting against it. Philosophical foundations. To deepen your understanding of Amor Fati, it helps to explore its philosophical foundations. 1. Stoic ethics. The Stoics believed that virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance was the only true good. External circumstances were considered indifferents. This perspective freed them from the tyranny of external validation and allowed them to maintain inner peace regardless of circumstances. 2. The unity of all things. The Stoics saw the universe as a single, interconnected whole governed by reason, the Logos. Everything that happens is part of this rational order. When you resist what happens, you're fighting against this natural order. When you embrace it, you align yourself with the universe itself. 3. Determinism and free will. The Stoics held a nuanced view of fate and free will. They believed in cause and effect, determinism, but also in our freedom to choose our responses. Chrysippus, a Stoic philosopher, used the analogy of a cylinder on a slope. Its nature, shape, determines how it moves when pushed, but the external force is what sets it in motion. Similarly, external events happen to us, but our character determines how we respond. The view from above. Marcus Aurelius encouraged taking the view from above, imagining yourself looking down on your problems from a great height or from the perspective of cosmic time. This exercise puts your challenges in perspective and helps you see them as part of a larger pattern rather than all-consuming crises. Amor Fati, the love of fate, transforms you from someone who fights against life into someone who dances with it. This transformation creates a natural, authentic attraction that goes far beyond superficial techniques or strategies. When you truly embrace everything life brings you with enthusiasm and use it for your growth, you become a rare individual in a world of complainers and victims. This quality alone is enough to make someone obsess over you. But here's the beautiful paradox. Once you master Amor Fati, you'll no longer be practicing it to attract others. You'll be doing it because it's the path to a meaningful, fulfilled life, regardless of external circumstances. And that's when the principle becomes most powerful, when it's no longer a means to an end, but the end itself. The Stoics understood what modern psychology has only recently confirmed, that our interpretation of events, not the events themselves, determines our experience of life. By mastering Amor Fati, you don't just become more attractive to others, you transform your entire experience of existence. You move from fighting against reality to flowing with it, from resistance to acceptance, from struggle to harmony. In a world obsessed with control, you discover the power of surrender. In a dating culture fixated on perfection, you embody the beauty of authentic humanity, with all its flaws and struggles. This is the ultimate source of attraction, not because you're trying to attract anyone, but because you've become someone worth being attracted to. If you found value in this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more practical wisdom from ancient philosophy. Share your thoughts and experiences with Amor Fati in the comments below. Until next time, remember, the obstacle is the way.